What's going on, you guys? So I'm finally getting around to tearing down the engine from the Mustang, and I'm starting to see some stuff that I don't really like too much. So one thing I'm seeing is combustion blow-by between the cylinder and the outside of the block. Not a good sign. So you can definitely see it right here with cylinder 3. Cylinder 7, you can kind of see a little bit of something going on there. But on the back side, you can definitely see it right there and right there. And on the cylinder head, cylinder 3 right there. This is from me kind of wiping that to see what it was. You can kind of see it's got some blowout going there. And then right here, you can kind of see that there is something going on there too. It doesn't have the copper spray on it anymore like the rest of it does. And if you come over here to the actual block, cylinder 7's got a lot of oil in it. And you can see there's some blowout right there and right there. So I'm not sure if this thing lifted ahead. I didn't notice like weird coolant pressure issues or anything like that, but I don't really have a coolant pressure gauge hooked up, but I didn't see it blow any coolant out the back of it or out into the overflow tank, so I'm not too sure. I'm gonna get this other head off, take a look at that, and then drop the pistons out. The amount of oil that is in this cylinder right here though is very concerning because even with this little deal going on right here, these are coolant passages and there shouldn't be oil getting in there. I'm kind of concerned about that. I'm gonna go ahead, rip this other head off real quick, take a look at those. So I got the other head off now, and it looks like we had an issue on that bank too. Cylinder 6. You can clearly see the exact same thing right here, just blowing out between the head and the block. Same markers on the head gasket right there. And then same thing on the block. You just see combustion blow-by. That piston is a lot darker. So yeah, motor's not looking like it's gonna be going too well right now. It's looking pretty bad if I'm being honest. This thing might be a total loss at this point and have to start over completely, which would suck. It's not too bad. I did just pick up another 5.3. I don't really want to go through the hassle of doing overboring and all that again. I do have an aluminum 6-liter back there. I could just go ahead and build that, but I need to get these pistons out, take a look at them, and measure the block up because I don't know what the tolerances are on this. And well, I know what the tolerances are supposed to be. I just don't know if something happened. Something must have clearly happened, but I gotta figure out what so I can address it. Not looking good right now though. So I'm gonna drop these pistons out of here and see what I find. So it just keeps getting worse. I'm fairly confident that not only did this thing lift ahead, but this block is very out of round at this point. Because I can do this. So cylinder 7 was one of the ones that kind of had to blow by a little bit. If you look at it, you can see the ring gap through there. Like, yeah, I don't think it ain't supposed to be that loose, but you can so I think she's a little ovaled out. Yeah, so that kind of sucks. I'm fairly confident that this block is no longer any good. I'm gonna finish pulling it apart, do what I can, but that's right to the gut. Not good. Not good at all. All right, pull the rest of these studs out, flip her over, take the pan out, knock these pistons out of here and see what they look like. All right, so obviously through this whole video, I haven't been really recording like tear down and disassembly or that whole process. And that's mainly just because I didn't kind of plan on doing this right now. I just came out here and just started doing things. So I didn't bring any of my camera equipment or none of that out here. But it's not looking good. So the rods are fine. Pistons, I mean, the pistons are like mint. The ceramic coating on the outside of them is gone, but that was gone before I put this motor together. Hindsight, probably should have addressed that when I built the last engine. Bearings, all that look mint, like no oiling issues at all with this engine. But what I am noticing is a solid amount of wear on this axis of the cylinders. So whether it be cylinders out of bore, may have happened from overheating. I don't really recall this engine ever having overheating issues. Oil temps did get kind of excessive at some points in time, but coolant temp wise, it never really got crazy. One thing is that this engine, being a 5.3 originally, it is overboard to a 5.7 liter. So it is overboard 125 thou. So what that does to the structural integrity of these motors, I'm not really sure, but I'm guessing that could have something to do with the way it's kind of wearing. Like you can see in the videos, you can see more polished spots on the cylinders than on the other side, and on every single one, it's on this axis. And that's where the skirt of the piston is gonna drag if it's loading up or down on each stroke. So kind of makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this block at this point is probably unsavable. I don't want to overboard any more than it is. I haven't mic'd anything yet, but I'm gonna go through and mic it all. But I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow because it is getting pretty late right now and I'm kind of tired. So I need to do a lot of math to measure this all out, check deck flatness, all that. But regardless, the skirt wear and all that is, I don't really know if that has a relevance to the lifting of the heads or the blowout of the side of the block. You can see on, which piston is it? Piston number 6 right here. You can see how clean that side is? Well, that side is what faces the outside of the block where it was getting all that blow by or blowout or whatever you want to call it right here. So that could be due to it being out of round. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to go through, measure and mic everything, but chances are this motor's toast and we're gonna have to build a whole new engine. Sick. Yeah, so I'm gonna cut this off right now and get back to it tomorrow, I guess. All right, so I'm back out in the shop, taking some measurements on the pistons and the bore. I also pulled that motor out right there. So this is a aluminum 6-liter block. I wanted to check that one just to see if it's good and ran my bore gauge down that, and that one is within about a half thou overall between all the cylinders. They're all pretty good and square within a half thou. This block, every single cylinder is out of round by at least 0.003 of an inch, which is a substantial amount. 3 and 7 are out by, I think, like 5 to 7 thou. So unfortunately this block is bored over as much as it can be already. There's no cleaning this up. So this block's a boat anchor. It's not savable at this point. There's nothing I can do with it. The good news, LS is an LS is an LS. So most of the stuff can just transfer directly over. So the LS3 crank that I have in here will work in that block. The rods I have will work. The push rods will work. The cam will work. The front cover, like everything will work. The only thing I will need to do is get a set of pistons for that. And I'll have to clean the heads up and just like super check the heads that came with that, because that motor was burning a lot of oil when I got it. And I'm pretty confident it was just valve seals by the way it was burning. Regardless, this motor will need to get cleaned, decked, And I'll have to see about getting a set of pistons for it, because if I do, I'm probably gonna have to go overbore on it a little bit. Maybe just touch the bores, 5 thou, 5/10 thou, clean them up, put bigger pistons in it, get rings, all that. And then take all of the stuff out of these heads, so the valve springs, retainers, all that, pull that out of these heads, stick them in the other ones, clean those heads up as well, check them, all that. But I'm definitely gonna have to build a new motor, and it's looking like that's what I'm gonna do right there. Aluminum block. Will it be as strong? I don't know. That thing did give me a solid 4 years though, which is not bad. Aluminum with boost is kind of iffy, but it is 100 pounds lighter. I think the only other thing I have to buy, which might be difficult to get, will be head studs. So head studs are pretty expensive for these. They are not the same as these, so I can't reuse them. I think I have, yeah, right here, I have a set of head bolts. Yeah, I got head bolts, but I don't really want to use head bolts. I wanted to use the studs. So I'm gonna probably look into getting a set of head studs for it. And then this motor right here is all main studded, all that too. So I think I can reuse the main studs. I think I can swap those over. I'll have to double check on that though. It's looking like a new motor build is in order, and kind of unfortunate, but is what it is. It's all part of it. The only the only thing I'm kind of like actually bummed about on this whole situation, it's not the having to build a new motor thing. Like, I can deal with that. That's fine. Like, this shit happens. This is motorsports. You get into it. You expect stuff like this to happen. I'm not too upset I need to build a new motor. The only reason I'm kind of upset about this whole situation is because I did buy a winter's quick change to put in this, and building a new engine is gonna eat up all of the funds that I was gonna put into the quick change swap. So I'm probably gonna be sitting on a winter's diff for a while now, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to afford to do the diff and the engine build. So kind of a bummer, but is what it is. We still have big plans for next year. I'm gonna get this stuff kind of like buttoned up, I guess. Probably go buy another engine stand to put that on, so I can start cleaning it, going through it, triple checking everything, knock the cam bearings out of it, all that. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So sucks, but is what it is. Pretty sure injector got stuck lean, detonated or something. Looks like it clearly lifted the heads. And yeah, maybe I'll put a coolant pressure sensor on this next motor. Anyways, it's gonna be it for this one. So like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, follow the build along. Until the next one, I'll catch you guys later.